ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਜੀਓ। ਸੂਹੀ ਮਹੱਲਾ ਪਹਿਲਾ। ਜਿਨ ਕਉ ਭਾਂਡਾ ਭਾਉ ਤਿਨਾ ਸਵਾਰਸੀ, ਸੂਖੀ ਕਰੈ ਪਸਾਉ ਦੁਖ ਵਿਸਾਰਸੀ। ਸਹਸਾ ਮੂਲੇ ਨਾਹੀ ਸਰਪਰ ਤਾਰਸੀ, ਤਿਨਾ ਮਿਲਿਆ ਗੁਰ ਆਏ ਜਿਨ ਕਉ ਲਿਖਿਆ। ਅੰਮ੍ਰਿਤ ਹਰ ਕਾ ਨਾਉ ਦੇਵੈ ਦੀਖਿਆ, ਚੱਲ ਹੈ ਸਤਿਗੁਰ ਭਾਏ ਭਵਹਿ ਨਾ ਭੀਖਿਆ। ਜਾ ਕਉ ਮਹਿਲ ਹਜ਼ੂਰ ਦੂਜੇ ਨਿਵੈ ਕਿਸ, ਦਰ ਦਰਵਾਣੀ ਨਾਹੇ ਮੂਲੇ ਪੁੱਛ ਤਿਸ। ਛੁਟੈ ਤਾਕੈ ਬੋਲ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਨਦਰ ਜਿਸ, ਕੱਲੇ ਆਣੇ ਆਪ ਜਿਸ ਨਾਹੀ ਦੂਜਾ ਮਤੈ ਕੋਇ। ਢਾਹੇ ਉਸਾਰੇ ਸਾਜ ਜਾਣੈ ਸਭ ਸੋਏ, ਨਾਉ ਨਾਨਕ ਬਖਸ਼ੀਸ ਨਦਰੀ ਕਰਮ ਹੋਏ। ਢਾਹੇ ਉਸਾਰੇ ਸਾਜ ਜਾਣੈ ਸਭ ਕੋ ਸੋਏ, ਨਾਉ ਨਾਨਕ ਬਖਸ਼ੀਸ਼ ਨਦਰੀ ਕਰਮ ਹੋਏ। ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ, ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ। ਸੰਗਤ ਜੀ, today's Pavan Pitra Hukamnama Sahib from Sachkhand Sri Harmandir Sahib is on Ang 729, blessed to us by Guru Nanak Dev Ji Padshah in Soohee Rag, Soohee, the Rag of love. That Rag that represents, Sangat Ji, that happily married bride, the one that has received all the happiness from her husband and is coloured in that Suha Rang, is coloured, Sangat Ji, and she represents and she wears that bright red colour representing her love with her husband. It's in that Rag, and Sangat Ji, Guru Nanak Dev Ji Pacha Ji talked to us today about the bowl of love. Jin kau pande pao. Guru Nanak Dev Ji Pacha Ji say, kende jin kau pande pao. Those that have got the panda. Which panda here, Sangat Ji? They're talking about the panda meaning a bowl. Bowl, which bowl here? They're talking about the begging bowl. Sangat Ji, if you look at some traditions and even from when we look at from the Bodh Dharam as well, what some of them will do is they'll go around, and it's called Piksha, where they actually go around with a bowl and they put that bowl before in, and what they are doing is they are begging for whatever the householder gives them, whatever food that the householder gives them. And for them that represents to getting rid of their ego and living in that humility. For that's what it represents for them. Even though Guru Nanak Sache Pacha Ji has told us to refrain from living that lifestyle and for us to work hard to earn our own living, Sangat Ji, but over here Guru Nanak Dev Ji Pacha Ji saying to us that I want you to have this begging bowl. And what is this begging bowl? this begging bowl of your heart. They're saying that I want you to put your begging bowl of your heart forward to Vaheguru Ji and to beg Vaheguru Ji and say, I want this piksha now. This piksha meaning, give me this food that I'm hungry. What am I hungry for? I'm hungry for the food of love. Hey Vaheguru Ji, fill my heart with love. And remember Sangat Ji, this is so beautiful that this actually means that we're not saying to somebody else that I need a bit of love from you. That all I need is a bit of love. Sangat Ji, if we have that type of mentality of this constant expectation of needing love from somebody else, we will remain beggars forever and we will never be fulfilled. But if we go to the Data, to the giver of gifts, and how do we go to that Data? We go internal. We go inside. Je ਆਪਾਂ ਪਿਆਰਿਓ ਆਪਾਂ ਅੰਦਰ ਦੀ ਆਪਾਂ ਉਹ ਜਿਸ ਨੂੰ ਆਪਾਂ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਆ ਨਾ ਪਿਆਰਿਓ ਕਿ ਇੱਕ ਉਹ ਆ, there's that journey, that internal journey. ਇੱਕ ਅੰਦਰ ਦਾ ਸਫ਼ਰ ਪਿਆਰਿਓ, when we go into the internal journey, we go inside and we don't say that I need a bit of love from that person, I need a bit of love from that person, because in that way we will remain unfulfilled forever and we'll become needy. And Sangat Ji, the truth is that person that is needy, there's many people in this world that actually try and keep away from them. Where does our Guru want to take us? Our Guru wants to take us to that place where we go inside and we create that bowl out of our heart, and we create that bowl out of what? Out of humility. So we say that here, Vaheguru Ji, I humble myself before you and I beg to put this piksha, to put this food inside of me, because I know once I have this food inside of this bowl, then I'll be full. I'll never need anything from anyone else ever again. And what is that? Kende jinko pande pao. And kende that whose panda, that whose begging bowl has been filled with love. It's only been filled with love because I begged for that from inside, from Vaheguru Ji. And I wasn't saying, Vaheguru Ji, you love me. I was saying, Vaheguru Ji, you fill my heart with love. That once I have love inside of me and I become love, then it won't be that I need it from somebody else. Then it'll be that this love will be showered upon everyone else. Whoever comes close will receive some of that love if they are open to it. Kende jinko pande pao. Pachi saying those whose begging bowls of the heart have been filled with love. Fir ki kehn lage sache pacha kende tina sawar si. Pachi saying kende ona nu sawarya gaya. Meaning kende that then those, Vaheguru Ji has what? If we look at the word sawar, sawar comes from the word tidy, meaning that they now have become completely pure. They've been cleaned up from inside. Once somebody's got love inside of their heart, Sangat Ji, then they've got no mal left. They've got no dirt left because love is pure. Once Sangat Ji, somebody experiences love inside of their heart, then no matter what they do in their life, whether they laugh, whether they cry, or whether they remain silent, everything is from that purity. Kinde rang hase, rang rove, chup, pi, kar, jahe. Kinde Pachaji then is saying, Kinde rang hase, when that person laughs, they laugh from that pure love. And Sangat Ji, remember, love is pure. Then they don't look down and laugh at someone. They don't laugh at somebody's downfall. Sangat Ji, let's bring this up on the screen as well. Pachaji saying, Kinde rang hase, rang rove, chup pi kar jahe. Remember Sangat Ji, the Pachaji here, and I often used to contemplate this. And then Sache Paatshah blessed this little touch man with this understanding, with this little mind with this understanding some years ago. And I was thinking that Rang Hasse, that over here, obviously, yes, we know that the word Rang here means love. But now I was thinking that why Guruji have you used the word love? Why have you used the word Rang, color for love? Especially when it comes to laughing and when it comes to crying. And then Pyareo, Sache Paatshah Ji is so beyant that Rang is a pure color. Rang is that color, Sangat Ji, that has no blemish, that has no marks, that is clear. You can see straight through it. It is pure. And Sangat Ji, whose panda, whoever's inside heart is filled with love, then whatever they do, Rang Hasse, how do you laugh in love? You laugh in love, Sangat Ji, in this way that your laugh never again is it on somebody's downfall. When somebody messes up something in life, you will never get happy. When somebody makes a mistake, you will never say those words and laugh and say, look, I told you so, and then you laugh. No, because that is, Sangat Ji, that would mean that I've got marks upon my heart. There's blemishes there. There's court there. Court means that I'm not pure, I'm counterfeit, I'm false. But Pyareo, ਜਿਹਦੇ ਅੰਦਰ ਪ੍ਰੇਮ ਵਸ ਜਾਵੇ, ਉਹ ਪਿਆਰੋ ਅਸਲ ਵਿੱਚ ਉਹਦੇ ਰੰਗ ਵਿੱਚ ਹੱਸਦੇ ਨੇ, ਰੰਗ ਹੱਸਾ ਹੈ. And their laugh is so pure, it's contagious. If you look at a Mahaprabhu laughing, Sangat Ji, I don't want to say their names because because they're still on this earth. Not to speak of them in that way whilst they are still here. But if you look at Mahaprabhu's laugh in Sangat Ji, you'll see their whole belly moving. Because that laughter is coming from their core. That laughter isn't false, it's not from here. It's from here. Or andro or dunge thanto aundaya, from their core, Sangat Ji, from their navel area, which is the center. Everything comes from there. They laugh from there as well, Sangat Ji. And you know, in their laughter has the ability to change our lives. Because their laughter has so much love inside of it. It's so pure. And Sangat Ji, that laughter is then contagious. That laughter has the ability to actually shift and change and shift the whole energy of that area. And it can change your inside. Ranga hassa hai, ranga rova hai. When somebody cries in the love of that one, that cry is pure. That cry has no attachment inside of it. Somebody's cry that has an attachment, it will bring the whole vibration of a place down. It will lower it. It will take it to a lower vibration. And the whole energy will feel so dark when somebody is crying in attachment. When somebody is crying in non-acceptance. But when somebody is crying in compassion, somebody sees somebody else's pain and they have tears rolling down their faces, and those tears are because ਉਹਨਾਂ ਤੋਂ ਉਹ ਦੁੱਖ ਕਿਸੇ ਦਾ ਝੱਲਿਆ ਨਹੀਂ ਜਾਂਦਾ, because they can't bear to see that pain somebody is going through. Pyareo, something that moved me so much, and I didn't know that this actually became viral until I only watched it in the series which is called God, and which our dear Mr. Freeman actually hosts it, and it's available on Netflix. And in the third series, Sangat Ji, so many of you may have heard that of this that happened, but I only came to know of it about a few weeks ago. And ਪਿਆਰੇ, ਜਦੋਂ ਮੈਂ ਉਹ ਵੇਖਿਆ ਤਾਂ ਮੇਰਾ ਅੰਦਰੋਂ ਮਨ ਨਾ ਖਿੱਚਿਆ ਗਿਆ, ਬੜਾ ਰੋਣਾ ਆਇਆ। That when I saw that, my heart was pulled and I cried like a baby. And what was that, Sangat ji? It was rang rova hai. When you cry in love, when your cry is so pure. Pyare, it was a beautiful, for me, it's difficult to even call this person a human being. This beautiful Muslim man. But for me, this man wasn't just a man. This is somebody that you can see the light of God shining through this being. Pyareo. So beautiful. So beautiful that his son was out doing pizza deliveries as his job. And as he was doing pizza deliveries that day, that he took on a delivery for somebody else, for who they worked for, because the girl was afraid to go to that particular tower block. It's probably got a reputation. And when he went and approached that tower block, and out of that compassion, this beautiful person that went, because he didn't want that, he took that job on because he knew that girl was afraid to go. He said, I'll do it. And as he went to do that delivery, there was a few guys outside, and they had planned that whoever comes today to deliver a pizza will rob them. And when he went to the door, they robbed him. Not only did they rob him, but they stabbed him as well. Sangat ji, as they stabbed him, he fell to the ground and he was up against the wall. But he had his finger up, and what that signified was he was saying his last prayers to Allah. He died at that scene. His father came to know what happened. This angel. And when he came to know that they've caught the people that did this to his son, and first of all, when there was talk about the death penalty for them, the father who lost his son, he himself, he fought against the death penalty for those that brought death to his son, against it. And people thought that was shocking, but that wasn't even the start of what was shocking. When they sat in that courtroom, and this father is sitting there and looking at the face of the murderer, he did not look at the murderer with hatred. He was looking at his face expressions, and he could see that there was remorse on the face of the murderer who took the life of his son. Remember, I spoke about those that cry in attachment, those that cry in that pain of non-acceptance. But when he looked at the face of that man who had taken the life of his son, and he saw that there was remorse there was regret there, he felt bad about what he had done. He put his head down, and as he was walking out of the trial box, and when he heard his sentencing, I'm not sure, sorry Sangat ji, it may not have been at the moment where his sentence was given to him, but as he came out, Sangat ji, this father, this beautiful angel, this beautiful human being, where you could see the light of God shining through him, this is what his faith gave him. This is what faith is, and that's why Dalai Lama, when somebody asked Dalai Lama, what is your religion? He said, my religion is love and compassion. And this is exactly what this man had. It doesn't matter that somebody calls him a Muslim, but it's how he practiced his faith, because it's about interpretation. It's how he practiced his faith, and it's about the qualities that he had inside of him, because he was not envied. ਉਹਦਾ ਭਾਂਡਾ ਭਰਿਆ ਸੀ ਪ੍ਰੇਮ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਪਿਆਰਿਓ, because his ਭਾਂਡਾ from inside was filled with that love. ਜਿਨ ਕੋ ਭਾਂਡੇ ਭਾਓ ਤਿਨਾ ਸਵਾਰ ਸੀ. ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ has cleaned their lives up whose inside is filled with love. He came up to that boy because he saw that he was upset. He saw that there was tears, and those tears were pure. Those tears were of remorse. And so the father came to hand him a tissue over, and the father's heart was filled with tears as well. Rang rova hai was crying in that purity of love when he saw another human being's remorse. And what did this father do? Not only did he hand him a tissue and he held his hand, pyare, what did this godly figure do? This godly figure, this beautiful human being, he took that human being that took the life of his son, and he hugged him. And he hugged him so much, for so long, and so tight from his heart, that some of his family had to tap him on his back to say, it's okay, come on. And the judge had to turn around at that point. And you know, Sangaji, how stern these judges are. The judge had to turn around at that moment and said, I think we need to take a break at this point, because it's going to be difficult to continue. Because if you saw her face, she was in tears. Her face was red. Rang hasse rang rove. Pyareo jinko pande pao. Those bowls that are filled with love, their tears are filled with love. Even their tears are contagious. These tears of love can fill others' eyes with tears, and they can fill their bowl with love as well. How many other hearts that would have been empty would that human being, that beautiful angel of a man, would have filled at that moment? Because pyareo, love is beyond any religion. Namastang amazbe. We could call ourselves Sikhs, but have no love inside, and we could be empty. And calling ourselves then that Sikh is just an empty saying. Soohee kare pasao dukh visar si. Guru Nanak Dev Ji Paat Ji saying to kende Soohee kare pasao. Kende that with pasao means with Waheguruji's grace. What can happen with Waheguruji's grace? Kende Soohee kare, that we could be filled with sukh, with true happiness with Waheguruji's grace. Kende dukh visar si. Kende, and all our pains and sufferings will be taken away. Sehsa mule nae sarpar tar si. Kende sehsa here means doubt. Mule means at all. Nahe. Kende, there is no doubt at all that sarpar tarsi. Kende, sarpar means for sure. Tarsi. Kende, that Waheguruji will save them and take them across into where? Into that place, into the existence of where Waheguruji exists. Kende, there's no doubt about that Waheguruji will save them and take them to there and embrace them and unite them with themselves, with Waheguruji. Kende, tina milya gur aaye jinko likhiya. Kende, only those can they receive the wisdom from the Guru who have it scribed upon them. That's in their destiny. What that means is only those that have positioned themselves in the correct place in the past for them to get a Guru. Because they've had that yearning for God, and then God has sent them a Guru to fulfill that yearning. Kende Amrit har ka naam deve dikhya. What does the Guru do? Guru gives them the dikhya. The dikhya means Sangat Ji, the teachings. Gives them the wisdom. The wisdom of what? Gives them wisdom of now. Kende har ka naam. Kende gives them the wisdom of God's name, of how to connect to God. That's what the Guru gives them. Kende chalehe satgur pae pavahe na pikhya. Kende, then they are the ones. Kende, the ones that actually chalehe satgur pae, the ones that walk in their Guru's will, And Sangat ji, pabhe na pikhiya, and then they don't end up as a beggar ever again. Once they have that faith and they start receiving that wisdom, just like that beautiful human being who embraced that one that took the life of his son. Sangat ji, he truly embraced the teachings of love, compassion and forgiveness. He truly embraced those. And then, na pikhiya, you don't have to, then you're not a beggar before anyone else. You're a beggar before that one that sits inside of you. Jako Mehla Hazur Duje Nive Kis. Then, once you have reached the presence of Waheguru Ji, Duje Nive Kis, then who else do you need to bow before? You don't need to. Then you don't bow before anyone else other than your Guru, other than you can see the light of God in your Guru, the one that has taken you to Waheguru. You only bow before them, and you bow before that one that is inside of you, no one else. You don't need to bow before anyone else now. Meaning, you don't need to go around begging from anyone else anymore. That how do I do this? How do I get to God? Kende dar darwani nahe mule puch tis. Kende dar darwani nahe. Kende when once your heart is filled with love, kende then there is, when you want to enter the mansion of God, when you want to go into where there is the existence of God, where there is nothing but God, meaning when you want to go beyond that ego and enter and merge with Waheguru Ji, kende then dar at God's gate. Darwani, there is no God, there is no gatekeeper there. Kende nahe, there is no gatekeeper for you, those whose hearts are filled with love. Kende mule puchatis, kende you won't be asked any questions. Once they see, oh look, their heart filled with love, there'll be no questions asked. You'll be able to go and merge with Waheguru Ji. Kende chutte ta ke bol sahib nadar jis. This is beautiful, Sangat Ji. Kende chutte ta ke bol Sahib nadar tis. Kende that those that have the blessings, the nadar, the glance and the grace of Waheguru Ji, kende chutta take bol, and then whose hearts are filled with that love and who has the grace of God upon them, every word that they speak, every bol that comes out of their mouth, every word that they speak has the ability then to save many others. And Sangat Ji, that those words can come in so many ways. Those words can come in tears. Those words can come in laughter. Those words can come in silence. Pyare, those words can come in a form of a hug. Those words can come in an actual word. Just like Sangat Ji, that prostitute that was waiting for somebody to come so she can make her money for that night. And Sangat Ji, she was waiting for a client to come, whatever you would call it. There's no right word for them, is it? But that moment, a moment that a Mahapurkh, a great saint, that looking for shelter from the horrendous rain that was outside, when he reached this door of this prostitute, he wasn't visiting a prostitute. He just saw that there's a lady inside, and for him, what is his eyes see, his eyes only see anybody that is younger than him, that is a female. His eyes only see a daughter. So to him, he was going to a daughter's house. ਉਹ ਤਾਂ ਪਿਆਰਿਓ, ਉਹਨੂੰ ਤਾਂ ਕੇਵਲ ਧੀ ਹੀ ਦਿਸਦੀ ਆ। ਉਹਦੇ ਨਜ਼ਰ ਵਿੱਚ ਕੋਈ ਵੇਸ਼ਵਾ ਹੈ ਹੀ ਨਹੀਂ। ਉਹ ਇੱਕ ਧੀ ਦੇ ਦਰ ਤੇ ਗਿਆ ਕਿ ਮੇਰਾ ਕਿਤੇ ਤੋਤਾ ਨਾ ਗਿੱਲਾ ਹੋ ਜਾਵੇ. He was trying to protect his parrot from getting wet. Didn't care for himself because par upakari, because a true saint is here only for others and is only concerned for others' well-being. He was protecting that parrot from getting wet. Everybody else's eyes saw a prostitute. His eyes only saw a daughter. But the power Soor Bir Bachan Ke Bali. That who is a true warrior? Maharaji said, Soor Bir, who is a true warrior? Bachan Ke Bali, who have power in their words. Bachan Ke Bali, whose words are Bali, are very strong. He knocked that door and her life was completely immersed in and selling her body. She knew nothing else. He knocked that door and she thought, I thought that in this rain that nobody would come to this door, and today I'm going to have to go to sleep without making any money. Little did she know who's turned up at her door today. He knocked the door and he said, Tiye, O Ti Meriye, Darwaza kholi. He said, Oh my daughter, open the door. When she heard the word daughter, it switched her life. She thought, Aaj tak mainu kisi ne tii karke nahi bulaya. She thought, until today, nobody's called me daughter. Chutte taake bol. Somebody that's got love inside of their heart, when they speak, the words have the ability to shift somebody's life. That man who had so much love in his heart, when he hugged that man who took his son's life, whatever words would have come out of his mouth at that time would have soothed him, would have shifted his life. He would have gone into that prison with a completely different mindset. And you know, when Mr. Freeman looked at him and he said that he was in awe of him, and when expecting some words from him, from this angel, he took Mr. Freeman in his arms and he hugged him as well. Sangaji, I'm watching this on a TV screen, but the vibration of that love in his heart is so immense that I was filled with tears even when he hugged Freeman. Why? Because you could just feel that there was something magic in his hugs. Something magic in his hugs. Chutte taake bol sahib nadar jis, kalle aane aap. Waheguru Ji themselves kende nahi duja matte koe. Kende Waheguru Ji doesn't take advice from anyone else but from them own selves. Kalle, they send us into this world, aane, and then there's call us back as well. Tahe usare saach jane sab soe. Kende Waheguru Ji is the knower of everything. Waheguru Ji is the one that tahe, that brings this, that demolishes this body, usare, and then creates another body for us, Saj, and puts then us in another body and continues our journey. They know exactly what they are doing, Waheguru Ji does. Now Nanak Bakshish Nadri Karam Hoye. Kende that when Waheguru Ji blessed me with their glance, I was then blessed with I was blessed with the connection to Waheguru Ji. Pyareo, itniyan ku beintiyan prawan karniyan. Please forgive me for all my mistakes. And Sangat Ji, those of you that are sitting at home, you may have met people in your life when you're in their company. When you're in their company, Sangat Ji, you must have met somebody in your life that their words just the way they speak, because of where their words are coming from. They fill your heart with something. Let's beg, not only to be amongst those whose words have the ability to save somebody. Let's beg for us to become like that. Let's beg Vaheguru Ji to fill this bowl up with love. And what will be an outcome of that? That whenever something comes out of this mouth, whenever something rolls down this cheek, whenever we are filled with laughter, whenever we go silent, whenever we hug someone, it has the ability to shift and change their life and save them. Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki